And we're back, and it's just about 11 o'clock. You're listening to IPL Radio, and today we have a very special guest, Laurie Lawrence. Are you there, Laurie?
I am, mate.
Awesome.
I am. Thanks for the opportunity.
No worries. So just a bit of a background. You have played rugby union for Australia. You're also a swimming coach, is that right?
Correct. Yeah, Olympic swimming coach. Coach kids who've broken world records, won Olympic gold medals, world championships. But right now I'm into water safety with the kids. Rugby's when I was a young man. I'm getting a bit old to play rugby now, mate.
I bet you're still following it though, right?
I am indeed.
Awesome. So can you tell us about the Magna Latch pool safety report findings?
Yeah, it's quite startling really that 50% of people only check their pool just once a year. And once a year does anyone, and 50% don't even check their pool fence and surrounds. And we know that all the drownings, the 90% of the drownings that occur for young toddlers, the most vulnerable age group, that 1-year-old toddler, they get in through the fence. And the weakest link is the gate. And that's why we're saying this is Check Your Pool Gate month. We're in the drowning season where most of the drownings occur. So check your pool gate, make sure your latches are working correctly. They're those true closed hinges, and make sure you've got a magnetic latch, lockable magnetic latches, so that gate hardware is the best you can get, because gate hardware and pool fences save lives, just as supervision, looking after little kids, save lives. And of course, for me, swimming lessons save lives. So they're the key things that we're trying to put in front of people this Christmas, this summer season.
100%. And I guess particularly around Christmas, like it's an Australian tradition to have like a pool party, and I guess with so many people coming and going, and you've got food in the kitchen and you've got 100 things that you need to do, it's kind of, you can see how easy it would be for people to go inside and just kind of leave their toddler. And then if that fence isn't secure,
yes,
it could be fatal, couldn't it?
Or prop the gate open. Or it's up a couple of kids because they're going in and out. The older kids, they put a chair or a pot plant or something against the gate, which allows those most vulnerable kids in. So what we're saying is, if you go online to checkyourpoolgate.com.au, there is a pamphlet there that you can download on having a fun pool party, And one of the things that we're suggesting is you put someone who's not having a drink, who's not on their mobile phone, because that's a distraction, to be your pool watcher or your pool lifeguard. So you look out after all those little kids that are in the pool, the most vulnerable ones.
So kind of like having a safe driver.
It is exactly the same thing, really, because, you know, like we had 17 little kids under the age of 5 drown in Australia last year. And for every one that drowns, 8 more are hospitalised with a pool immersion. So that's 176 kids that were taken to hospital with a pool immersion. They all could have been fatalities. That's why I'm saying make sure that you've got your lifeguard handy. Make sure that your fence is secure. Make sure you're teaching your kids to swim. And above all, please supervise those young toddlers. I'm a grandfather now of a 14-month-old toddler. She just adores the water because she's been having swimming lessons since she was born. And she'll just go and jump in now, mate. And she can't save herself yet, but she will within the next 6 months. We'll have her going, so she'll turn around, come back to the side and paddle back to the side. But right now, we need to supervise her really closely. I can't imagine what life would be like for anyone who's lost a child. It would be dreadful.
It is a it is kind of a topical thing because I don't know if you heard, but in the UK, they lost 3 kids that were pulled from a frozen lake in Solihull because they were just kind of skating around and fell in and drowned. That's, again, just such a tragic thing that it could have been avoided, right?
Yeah, it's just amazing how many drownings, and it occurs year after year after year. When we first started the Kids Alive program, which is promoting fence the pool, shut the gate, teach your kids to swim, it's great, supervise, watch your mate and learn how to resuscitate.
I love that.
Poem,
that's cool.
That little poem, when we first started that in the year 2000, 63 kids in Australia under the age of 5 drowned. Last year, 17. So people are saying, oh, that's terrific, you've come down to 17. No, it's not terrific, it's a busload of kids.
Yeah.
And a busload of kids went into Brisbane River or Sydney Harbour or Perth River, there'd be an uproar around the country. So that's why we've got to be particularly vigilant, particularly with those little kids, those 1-year-old toddlers. They're the most vulnerable.
It's 17 too many, isn't it, really?
Oh, it's terrible, mate. It's terrible. But our goal is 0 preschool drownings. Can we do it? I think we can, because at different times, different states around Australia have had 0 preschool drownings. So if we can align the stars and every state in Australia goes for 0 preschool drownings, I reckon we can do it. And that would be better than putting a man on the moon, mate, to have 0 preschool drownings.
It would be so horrific for the parents and the families as well to lose a kid, and in the atmosphere of a party at Christmas, it's how do you even think about it?
You can't. It's dreadful. I had a good friend of mine some time ago wrote me a poem about the Kids Alive program, and I'll just run it by you. Our island nations circled by great oceans pounding free. Our abiding love of nation is as natural as the sea. We live by lakes and rivers, by billabong and stream. White blue's the swag for the mighty rag of our great Australian dream. We swim for form and fitness. We swim for relaxation, for therapeutic purposes, for sport, for love of nation. We swim for tone and texture, to keep old man time on hold, but when rings and flames call forth our names, it's then we swim for gold. We pipe our precious water to keep it by our side, but in its bland and grand impoundments, young Aussie kids have died. They sparkle round our country like bright-eyed emerald jewels, but tiny crosses track the losses by the lanes of backyard pools. Keep kids alive, do the 5, fence the pool, shut the gate, teach your kids to swim, it's great. Supervise, watch your mate, and learn how to resuscitate. Kids alive, do the 5. There you go, mate. There's a couple of verses for you.
Wow, that's awesome. And I noticed that you got that other little poem in there as well.
Oh, I did. I slipped it in on the end, mate.
Tell us about the Safe Summer Guide.
The Safe Swimmer Guide is it's online at checkyourpoolgate.com.au, and it tells you how to run a successful pool party. It tells you what are the best latches, what are the best hinges, how do you fence your pool, all tips in case your pool latch is not level. It shows you all those sorts of things and how to run a successful pool party. It's all there in the Safe Summer Guide on checkyourpoolgate.com.au.
Awesome. So check that website out, and that's like, is it like a downloadable flyer or something, or leaflet?
Yeah, it's a downloadable leaflet, mate. It's a PDF that you can download, and it's all about safe summer. What do we do this summer to keep ourselves safe? How to conduct a safe pool party? All those sorts of things. It's really valuable for those people who've got pools.
And I guess a lot of people just think that, that the compliance is making sure that the council's approve and all that kind of stuff, and they've got their
Yeah, well, they
reins,
do
but-
that for the first time, don't they?
Yeah, but then it
They
kind
do
of...
that when they get a new pool. Then they forget about it.
Mm,
I've done that. I don't have to do that. But over time, the ground moves.
yeah.
The fence posts move. When the fence post moves, it moves the latch. So the latch doesn't clamp down anymore. All those little things that happen. And that's why you have to check your pool gate regularly, not just once a year, as 50% of the population do. And 50% of the population don't even check it at all. So there's just accidents waiting to happen with those under 5 kids,
Yeah.
the most vulnerable, the little ones.
And that's pretty shocking because, like, water is such... And it's such an Australian thing with, pool parties and stuff like that, but water is such a powerful element, and it doesn't take a lot to drown, especially for under
It
5-year-olds.
No.
You've got to respect water.
Yeah. It's a life-giving thing, mate, water. But quick as a wink, it can bite back and kill.
Mm.
It is life-giving, isn't it? Because we can't live without water.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's a life-giving thing, but it also can take a life so quickly.
And so some of the things that you recommend is obviously checking your gate, making sure that that's secure, having a pool buddy, I suppose,
Yep.
like a
Yep.
safe driver.
Yes.
And
That's for
keeping
if
the
you're
phone
having
away,
a
yeah?
party. Yep, keep the phone away. If you're having a party, appoint a pool watcher so they can sit there on the chair with their big pool hat on, watching the kids to see that they're safe. It's very, very important. So all these things. But for me, one of the big things, I've always loved swimming. I've been around pools all my life.
You're a swimming
Grew up
coach, so
around pools.
that's
Yeah.
kind of your thing, isn't it, right?
Yeah. And I had Professor Robin Jorgensen do a longitudinal study on infant aquatics just to see about it. And she found that those kids who have swimming lessons early, it builds their social, emotional, physical, and intellectual capital. They're smarter, they're better coordinated, all those sorts of things. They're healthier, but more importantly, they're safer because they know the difference between deep and shallow water, and they're less likely to wander into life-threatening situations.
And that's knowing your limits as well, isn't it? And I guess for the under 5s that aren't strong swimmers,
No.
You need that extra support.
You do need that. And you need them to know the difference between deep and shallow so they're not trying to do things that they're not capable of doing.
Do you just want to tell us a little bit about Kids Alive?
Kids
You
Alive
mentioned that before?
Yeah, sure. Kids Alive is a program that we started back in the year 2000 when Sydney had the Olympics. But as well as having the Olympics, we also had a huge drowning problem where 63 kids under the age of 5 drown in Australia. So we decided, what can we do about it? Well, we have to get a promotion. So the poem was written by a mate of mine, Robert Raftery, and there's a few more verses to it yet, but it was basically fence the pool, shut the gate, because if you can keep people out of the pool, you can save them. So we're talking the kids under 5. Teach your kids to swim. It's great. Well, we've proved that with Professor Robin Jorgensen's study. Supervise. Well, that goes without saying, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
And then learn how to resuscitate. Well, there's been studies done where kids who have fallen in the water, they're more likely to survive if you can perform CPR at the point of immersion. So as soon as you pull them out, if you can start CPR then, they're more likely to survive. There's a bigger chance of them surviving rather than ringing and waiting for the ambulance to arrive to do it. Do the CPR right there on the spot. And that's why CPR is so important. So the 5 things wove into that lovely little jingle: fence the pool, shut the gate, Teach your kids to swim, it's great. Supervise, watch your mate, and learn how to resuscitate. Kids Alive, do the 5. And I had a young fella at the time who was in a band. I said, well, we need the song, mate. We need the song. And all these songs are online on kidsalive.com.au. They're all there. So this young fella, he actually wrote, oh, this is a scream, George Thorogood's hit, Get Your Hair Cut and Get a Real Job. So that was his claim to fame. I said, well, make this a hit. This Kid's Alive, do the 5. So he did. And so we've got lovely songs. We've got a whole busloads of songs. If you can go online, go to Spotify and put in the Kids Alive album, and you'll be able to get all those fun water safety songs for your kids, or your grandkids. If you've got kids under 5 or grandkids under 5, get onto Spotify or go to kidsalive.com.au or YouTube, Kids Alive, do the 5, go onto YouTube, and it's all there, mate. A whole bunch of songs. And with those songs it was a while ago now, but we had the biggest touring show in Australia. We went all over the country with the Kids Alive's, and those songs that were there were all sung, and we played free to schools. I rang councils all over Australia and got the halls free, and then the schools come in free, and we had a great sponsor who enabled us to tour the show and play free to schools all over Australia. In fact,
That's awesome.
the Kids Alive show was the biggest touring show in Australia that year, but all done on like the Wiggles type of thing.
Yep.
Fun, song, dance.
That's the kind of thing for the kids are going to then run with it, aren't they?
Yeah, and the kids remember it, mate.
Yeah.
They remember that repetitive song over and over again. The kids love it. Rhythm, rhyme, and song and dance. That's what sticks in kids' minds.
100%. Thank you so much for talking to us today, Laurie. It really, I probably could talk for another half an hour, but I know that we've kind of got limited time.
Thank you for having me, for giving me the opportunity, because this will save some kids' lives. Thank you.
Let's hope so. Let's hope that we can get it down to 0.
Mate, we could, but we need everyone on board. Thank you.
100%. All right, now we're going to go to some music. Thanks again. And just to reiterate that website to check out.
Yeah, kidsalive.com.au for the music, kidsalive.com.au, and the other one, if you want the pamphlet, it's checkyourpoolgate.com.au.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much
Thanks,
for your time,
mate.
Laurie. And
bye-bye.
Here's some music. Bye.
Bye.